Would you like to be the kind of manager who invests in your team's development? Hi, I'm Brian Amrine with Value Driven Analytics, and today I'm talking to you about how you can be the kind of manager who makes your team feel like they're getting paid to get an education. Now, first of all, you may be thinking, if I spend so much time developing my employees, how am I going to have any time to actually get the work done and manage all the projects I'm responsible for as a manager? Now, this may seem contradictory, but I find that the more time you focus on your analytics team development, the more productive they'll become. By teaching your team to use more advanced analytics tools, such as coding platforms like SQL and Python, they'll become more efficient. And by teaching your team more advanced analytics methods, such as A/B testing and data science modeling, they'll become better able to make effective recommendations that actually drive value for your company. And by teaching your analyst how to communicate better, they'll be better able to convince management to make data-driven decisions that they're recommending. As a manager, you can either be a project-focused manager or a people-focused manager. A project-focused manager spends most of their time managing all the projects their team is responsible for. They're involved in nearly every single aspect of every single project, probably shaping at least the methodology for every project the team's responsible for, and then perhaps passing on the project to their team members from there. They may often be involved in presenting the final result of the project as well. Since their time is taken up so much by being involved in every single project, there's little time to talk about career development of their individual employees. Although, perhaps in the process of being involved in each project, they're able to give some project-based advice along the way and give some tips to their team and develop them in perhaps that manner. But their immediate focus tends to be on pleasing the executives, the stakeholders that they're working with, by satisfying their current priorities. A people-focused manager tends to focus more of their time on investing in their team. They're investing in building their team's analytical thought process. They're investing in building their team's attention to detail, helping them make fewer mistakes in the future through robust validation processes. They're investing in teaching their teams to code in platforms like SQL and Python, helping them to become more efficient, helping them to learn new analytics tools, helping them to become more creative thinkers in the way they approach an analysis, and crafting a rigorous approach to every business challenge they're tasked with, helping them and inspiring their leadership to proactively pursue analyses and initiatives that would help a company in general. They're investing in helping their team become better communicators, better able to take the technical work that they've done and translating it into recommendations and insights that non-technical stakeholders can understand. They are training their teams in how to prioritize their projects, even on their own with their stakeholders, getting to a point where they can project manage their work more independently and they don't need the manager to be involved in every single project. And just generally motivating their work ethic to learn all of these things and continue learning on their own as well. That's what a people-focused manager is focused on. The idea is that if you pour into your team's development, they'll have the skills to handle all kinds of situations that come up more independently. And so you can trust them to robustly take care of their stakeholders' needs. So if you're wondering, how am I going to have the time to pour into my team's development and also handle all the different projects that the team is responsible for? It's because the more you do of the former, the less you have to do of the latter. This tends to help, over time, build your direct reports into leaders themselves who are able to independently tackle all kinds of projects that come up for your team. And remember how the project-focused managers focus? Their direct focus was on making sure that the projects that are priorities for their executives and stakeholders are taken care of. Well, the people-focused approach actually indirectly accomplishes that goal as well. But rather than the manager themselves being the one to make sure that happens, now their team is able to, on their own, make sure the projects that are priorities for their stakeholders are happening in a robust manner and getting done on time because you've trained them in those skills. This really works. If you're developing your employees in a way that actually makes a difference, that actually helps them deliver more value for a company in a way that will help them build their career over time, then by definition, you are in the process helping them create more value for your company. It's a win-win. Now, to be sure, every manager needs to have at least some project focus and at least some people focus. But today, I'm talking to you about how you can be more people focused. Now, maybe one of the barriers to being a more people focused manager is that you don't have the technical skills to develop your team. Perhaps there's team members that report up into you that are more technical than you are, but you've been asked to lead the team based on your management skills. Well, first of all, let me encourage you to pour into training the analyst on your team in the non-technical skills that you do excel at. Things like leadership, project management, prioritization, communication. These are skills that can really differentiate analysts. And if you're a manager, you've got something to offer them. You know, only a small percentage of analysts can take technical concepts and present them to non-technical stakeholders in an effective way. Another option for developing your direct reports technically, especially if you're an executive, is to hire an analytics manager that is both technically strong and passionate about training their direct reports. Now, in order to make sure they're actually technically strong, we highly recommend using case questions in the interview process. And if you're not comfortable with creating or assessing those, value-driven analytics can help with that. But perhaps your role is to directly manage analysts. In that case, you can put a lot of emphasis on cross-training initiatives, hosting team meetings where team members share analysis approaches with each other, maybe taking some of the team members that are stronger technically and asking them to lead an office hours initiative or lead a training for the rest of the team. And if you are a technical manager, perhaps more technical than most of your direct reports, you can lead a lot of these things. You can lead frequent trainings on more advanced analytics platforms and techniques. A really neat thing that you can do is to hold a one-day solution where there's a dedicated day and you get your team together, and as a team, you work on a solution and you're committed to, by the end of the day, at least having a minimum viable product, a prototype for a solution to a business challenge. That can be a great way to build your team's skills together. Regardless of whether you're a technical manager or a non-technical manager, it's absolutely critical to hold one-on-one weekly updates with each one of your direct reports, and perhaps to hold a weekly team meeting as well. This is really important for the engagement of your team, especially in a remote environment. Imagine, without a team meeting and a regular one-on-one update, there could be some employees who go an entire week without seeing a single person. But these are also the venues where you can provide your team with career development recommendations and project-based advice. Maybe it's providing a recommendation on a certain analytics platform that will help one of your team members be more efficient with an upcoming project. Or perhaps it's reviewing a project that leads to a recommendation for an analytics technique that will help that team member make more robust recommendations in the future. I hope after watching this video, you're more excited than ever to pour into the development of your analytics team, both technically and by building their soft skills. And while every manager needs to have at least some project focus, perhaps you're inspired to have a little more people focus than you did before. And perhaps in doing that, you'll find that you're able to more and more trust your analysts to take on some of the project-based aspects more on their own. Most of all, I hope you'll find some of your team members saying that they feel like they're being paid to get an education, and that perhaps someday they'll follow in your footsteps as a leader as well. I want to thank you for watching today. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Now, if you have any questions about what we covered, please consider leaving a comment and I'll try to respond to it as soon as I can. One last thing, if you or your organization ever need anything analytics related, an analysis, a dashboard build, maybe a data science model build, perhaps deeper training on this very topic or other analytics topics, even a complete analytics transformation, please consider value-driven analytics. Check out our site at valuedrivenanalytics.com, and if it resonates with you, give us a call. We'd love to help you out.